Hi. So I totally forgot to turn off the volume on the television, so you can probably hear that in the background. The other thing you can probably hear is my laptop computer sounding like a car engine or something. I don't know what's wrong with it. The other issue that you're hearing is that I have caught some kind of a cold or cooties or something, and so my voice is probably going to go in and out. But I wanted to make this video today because I wanted to address some um, questions that I had gotten regarding another video I had made, and that is the 3-month progress video on my um, road to better health. I'll title it that. Um, my the biggest thing and the main thing, I'm sorry, that I want to address is, oh, and I'm drinking plenty of fluid, so I am taking care of this, and I do feel better. But anyway, the voice is still going in and out. But the biggest issue that I really would like to deal with on today's video is the fact that so many people were really encouraging, and I really just really appreciate it. I mean, I felt the love, I felt the hugs from everybody. But one thing that really concerned me is that I had gotten a similar response from so many people that bothered me. And that response was, "Oh, I'm so glad for you. You're doing such a great job. Keep it up. Girl, I wish I could do that." I even went to Metro Atlanta to visit with my daughter and her family and saw some old friends. And one of them in particular, and I'm not going to mention her name, but she said to me, "I just wish I could do that. I just can't do that. I just wish I could." And it kind of broke my heart. And I didn't really, because I really didn't have time to, really sit down and talk to her. And so that's why I'm making the video now, because she wasn't the only one that had that kind of response. I've gotten emails from people, um, Facebook inbox responses from people who have said, for some reason, I just either can't keep up with a weight loss regimen, or I just can't seem to even get started. So I'm making this video to tell you basically how I got started, and to give you some tips that were given to me that have been really helpful, that I think will help you. First of all, I got started because I needed to. I was overweight, still am, but even more so before I started. And didn't have any issues with high blood pressure, but certainly high cholesterol. And I don't think I even shared this with anybody. My glucose levels were dangerously high. That has never happened before. That was a red flag for me, and that was actually something that really, it frightened me. It really did, because I hate needles, and the thought of possibly ever having to take insulin shots, I couldn't fathom that. So that was a really strong wake up call for me. The other thing is, I never want to have to be hospitalized for something that I could have controlled just by moving my body more and having more self control over what I eat. So that's why I decided to make the big change. There's this old saying that goes, when I hope I have it right, but it's something like, when the student is ready, the teacher will show up. And that is so true, because as soon as I got in my head to, no matter what, that I was going to get it done, that's when the free boot camp became available. And that has been priceless for me, really priceless. A big part of it, of course, is controlling what you eat, and eating to fuel your body as opposed to eating for pleasure. That's a big issue for me, a person who is a really emotional eater. So that was probably my biggest challenge. But obviously it's been working, and it's been working because I've been using a lot of the tips that I've been getting, actually all the tips that I've been getting from our bootcamp trainers. Okay, so let's talk about this issue of willpower, because that's another thing that people had said to me. "Oh, I just don't have the willpower to do it." And I gotta tell you, it's really not willpower. I just really don't. I just really don't think that willpower has anything to do with it. I really don't have the willpower to do it for the most part. Very seldom do I feel like getting out of my bed early in the morning, going out into the cold, extreme cold lately, or the extreme heat, and running around a track, because running is just not what I did. So it's not willpower. What it is discipline. And to me, the definition of discipline is doing those things that you do because you know you're supposed to do them, not necessarily because you like to or you want to, but because you know you're supposed to. You know, for those of you who are mothers, you know, you get up every day, especially if you've, you know, well, if you're a mother, you've at some point had small children, you remember having to get up and feed them at some crazy hours. You didn't stay in the bed and not do it. You got up and you did it because you knew it had to be done. You had the discipline to do that. And so with getting fit and getting your body healthy, that's really what it takes. It doesn't take a willpower, because you're not going to want to necessarily do those things if you're not accustomed to doing those things. I still don't like to exercise. Now, I enjoy the way it feels during the process. I enjoy the way it feels afterwards, because I really do believe it creates some kind of endorphins or something in your head. Those feel good fluids, whatever they are. Exercising really does, as much as I hate to admit it, it makes you feel good. And so I enjoy that. But you don't feel that when you are first getting out of the bed, and when you're first getting dressed and you're putting on your tennis shoes and you're walking outside. You don't feel that. You don't feel that until you get there and you actually start moving your body. So willpower is not the thing. It's knowing that when I get there and when I do that, I am going to feel that. So I have to get there and do it. You just have to do it because you need to. It's as simple as that. Um, One of the things that you're going to have to ask yourself also is, if I know that exercise is going to be beneficial to me, if I know that eating better is going to be beneficial to me, and yet I don't do it, if I know that if I don't do it, I'm shortening my life, and yet I continue to carry out that behavior, something's wrong. Something's going on up here and in here. And you really need to examine that. The way I examined it, and this is not a religious video, and I'm not trying to evangelize or anything like that, but I'm just telling you what worked for me. I prayed about it. I really did. I went to God and I said, what is going on with me? I know that I need to do this thing, but I mean, it's so far past not wanting to. I can't even begin to tell you. I just refuse to do it. And again, when you know that something is going to benefit you, and it's as simple as moving your body and making better choices with your food, if you're not doing that, something's going on in here, and you need to find out. And for me, finding out was through praying. So I would recommend doing that. Now, once you get over that and get to the point where you have decided that you're going to make some changes in your eating and move your body more, one tip that I would recommend from an emotional eater, which is what I am, is that you give yourself one cheat day. One. See? One. Just one. Not 7, not 2, not 3, not 5. Just one. Only one cheat day. Did I mention just one? Okay. Just one cheat day a week. Let me tell you what that did for me. And that was recommended by a couple of our boot camp trainers. I think the first one that mentioned it was Roy. Thanks, Roy. Great advice. It works. And Eric also backs that. And it was just good. And I had heard years ago, Vivica A. Fox does the same thing. I don't know if she still does, but I remember someone asking her, how does she stay in such great shape? And she did say that once a week she eats whatever she wants. She doesn't care what it is. If she thinks it's going to taste good, she's going to eat it. And when I heard it back then and looked at her body, I thought, right, she has a cheat day. I don't think so. But you guys, it really does work. Let me tell you how it's worked for me. I'm going to give you an example. I'm a stress eater. I'm an emotional eater. I found that out for sure. It was confirmed. One day I was dealing with, I think, some issues with my car. Anybody that knows that knows I always have issues with cars. I think it's time to get a new free car. But anyway, that's a whole nother talk show. But I was dealing with something going on with my car at this particular time, and it was just really bumming me out and stressing me out. So as soon as I got back from wherever I was, I walked in the door and I thought, oh, I just want some cookies. The other day, a couple of days prior to that, I had bought some of those, oh, what do you call it? Um, Golden Oreo cookies, the white ones, not the black ones. Some of those. And I had put them in the cabinet. Hadn't really thought about them until this particular day that the car was just giving me the blues and I was stressing out over it. Didn't realize I was stressing out over it. So I got in and I immediately went to the kitchen and went to the cabinet. And I was like, oh my God, I really want these cookies. Really, really, like I need these cookies. On a regular day, had I not started the my journey back to life or to fitness, I just would have grabbed 6 cookies, put them on a paper towel, got me a glass of milk, chowed down, would have felt really good for a few minutes, and then really bad for the rest of the day. Because this was, I think, a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and my cheat day is Saturday, I could not get the cookies. And it was about to drive me nuts. You guys, it wasn't easy. It really wasn't easy. I was so frustrated because I really did. I mean, I really, really wanted these cookies. So I looked at the cookies and I literally, not figuratively, literally started talking to the cookies and explaining to the cookies, hey, cookies, I really want you, but I cannot have you today. But I will be back on Saturday. And I closed the cabinet and I kind of laughed about it, closed the cabinet and I went and sat down, but it was still bothering me. I really wanted the cookies, really wanted the cookies. And so I just started asking myself, what is it with you and these cookies? You've been doing really great. And it had been over a month. You know, you've been doing really great with only having one cheat day. You haven't really been having any cravings. You haven't been flipping out on over any, oh, I got to have this food. What is the big deal about you and these Oreo cookies? You don't even like them that much on a regular basis. What is the deal? And so I started thinking about what I had been thinking about most of the day and what I had been focusing on most of the day and how it was making me feel. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about this car and the fact that this car is about to die and I need a car and don't know how I'm going to get a car and oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I realized that focusing on something that was causing me to be stressed, I wanted to medicate it with some sugar. And the sugar that I happened to have in the house, other than regular sugar, on that particular day was the cookies. And so I was going to medicate myself with cookies, but I did not. The wonderful thing about a cheat day is this also. It causes you to slow down and think about what you're eating and why you want to eat it. The other thing it does is that it teaches you to delay that gratification. So, like I said, it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I did not touch the cookies. Didn't even touch them. Talked to them, but didn't touch them. By the time my cheat day rolled around, which is Saturday, I really didn't have a taste for them, but because I had told myself, whatever day that was, you can have the cookies on Saturday, I thought, I'll eat a cookie. I went to the cabinet, they were gone. My garbage disposal son had already taken care of them. So, but it was okay because I really didn't want them at that point. So find yourself a cheat day. Make it a wise day. Make it make sense. I chose a Saturday because sometimes on Saturdays, maybe you go shopping, you go hang out with friends, and you might go to a restaurant or, you might not be home. You might not want to cook, and so you'll eat some junk or whatever, fast food. So Saturday has been working for me. Here's another tip that I came up with for myself because I know how I am. I know that I will change the day if I allow myself to. Like under normal circumstances, had that happened, I would have said, oh, I just changed my cheat day to Wednesday. And then Saturday would have come back around and I would have changed it back to Saturday. And then Sunday, I would want to eat something and I would change it to Sunday. Give yourself a period of time. I recommend 3 months that you set for your cheat day, one cheat day a week. And for 3 months, you are not allowed to change it. I am not allowed to change my cheat day for 3 months. Now, the first 3 months have passed, but Saturday's working out for me pretty well, so I'm not going to change it. So I'm going to go through another 3 month period with Saturday as my cheat day, which means Saturday is the only day I